Good evening, everybody. This is episode 50 of Constant Elevation. 50. Episode 50 of Constant Elevation.
Absolutely.
This is my build with our good brother Jay, X Clan, Blackwatch, Flatbush, Brooklyn. This is our monthly show on a lot of hip hop topics, but other things as well. It's always a pretty structured discussion, and we get into some pretty serious topics. But tonight it's going to be a kind of a wide open show for people. We're gonna what we're gonna do because typically the show's pretty structured. We pretty talk about a certain topic or whatever. But a couple things. One, I realized I hadn't we hadn't really just chopped it up recently on just just some regular shit.
Yeah.
And two, um, I get a lot of questions after the show sometimes, or like throughout the week. Why don't you ask him this? Why aren't you asking this or whatever? I'm like, it's not about that. Like we're doing some other shit.
Wow.
But so so I want to give the opportunity to some people to ask some questions. I got some questions that people gave me. I had some questions just in terms of things I just been wondering about that we hadn't talked about in a while. So we're just gonna jump around like popcorn and just touch on a bunch of different things. If you're cool with that.
That's what's up, my lord. I'm good.
Cool. So what I wanted to get started on, man, is um and three people asked me this, and I've been wondering just in general for an X Clan update as far as just the status of X Clan, who's an X Clan member, what's projects, just what's going. We build all the time, but what is the status
Yeah.
of X Clan itself?
Well, I restarted X Clan in 2000 when I moved to the West, expanding the group. I added a touring group that I put together with DJ Fat Jack, Zulu, Ora, Last Man Art. I just started opening the door as if the movement was alive. When Blackwatch was alive, we really gave a lot of young heads the opportunity to produce, to be on tour, so on and so on. So I opened that side of X Clan. And what I did was, sparked it with the Millennium Cipher. You know what I'm saying? So kind of separating it from what the 90s, the 90s setting was. Everybody's just stuck in the past and whatnot. And there's a lot to explain in the documentary about what kind of school that was at that time frame. But the mission remains the same. You know what I'm saying? So X Clan has expanded. It's X Clan Millennium Cipher, and that's how we move forward. We've done several albums with Suburban Noise, 2006, 2010, and then we have our upcoming East Blackwoods remix. And that's been sort of a issue. I'm glad we're talking about this because a lot of people want to, copy and paste from the past. And I just feel that the era deserves boosted sound. You know what I'm saying? We can't stay stuck in the analog era where, artists are advancing digitally right now. Production allows us to do further than our imaginations did in the 90s. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We were stuck on old school beat machines. I did East Black was on a Kai 950, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, when Cass was popping them left and right and shit to where Kai is right now, you can imagine how long ago that was, 30 years plus and whatnot. So my quarrel with the industry is that they feel like veteran artists should sound like veteran sound, and I just disagree with that wholeheartedly. So that's been something
Wait,
that's
you said your quarrel is veteran. Just to make sure I understand you, veteran sound should sound like that's you're saying that's what the people were saying.
yeah, because labels are going retro right now. You know what I'm saying? Like retro sound is it. It's similar to how video games are right now. Cats are going back to PS4 games, and the PS5 games are giving all kind of new views and 3D and all kind of stuff. They're using the technology that they weren't able to use when they developed, games. So I feel the same thing in music. You know what I'm saying? Where if you have artists that are still capable, I'm a composer, I'm a producer. So, what I'm saying, getting out of sampling and all of that stuff not only saves me money, but it evolves me. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, and it's unfortunate that labels will want to take people back to Smallville rather than dealing with than what's happening in the metropolis, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep taking back cast back to Mom Park Kent and this is where it came from and all that shit. You keep doing that same shit, you lose audience for us. You date us. You know what I'm saying? If you just let us get in the pool and do our thing, some of these vets can hang. It's not for everybody. Some cats have to cut and paste. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not that kind of a cat, dog. So, that kind of stops negotiations a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just being 100 with it, man. It's no big secret. I've been ready to come. I wrote an album since I've been out in New York, my dog. So, it's not a question of the ability or production. I had the best producers in the world, but already, is there's no outlet or even genre for what we build on. You know what I'm saying? I've spoken about this many times in our
Mm.
podcast.
Yep.
There's no conscious music genre. There's no, progressive hip hop or any kind of labeling. You're gonna throw us in the mud with everybody else with the foolishness, dog, and all of that shit's supposed to be hip hop. you
Right,
know,
right, right, right.
but getting to your question, I've expanded the crew, man. We have production, we have strong administration in our camp. X Clan is just more than just four brothers. You know what it was in the '90s. It's expanded. I'm saying this is where wanted. This is where I dreamt of it going as a youth and earning my degrees and what I've done, within my circle and shit. It was time to expand what I created. You know what I'm saying? I created the X Clan and invited the good brothers to come through. Brother Architect, Brother Professor. That was me and Shaft's construction. God bless him and Professor. You know what I'm saying? So I just chose to restructure it and be able to offer it. It's a new day, and you got to have a new way to handle shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't use
Yeah.
old tactics. You know.
No, that makes perfect sense. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the other things I wanted to get into as far as like, yeah, that you have music you want to put out. But again, and we've talked about this numerous times. Like, I mean, you've been really resistant to just saying, okay, I'm gonna just give you my old shit and recycle me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not with that shit at all.
I'm not, dog. You know what I'm saying? If think about it, dog. You giving, a person who has heard legendary shit about you and shit, you giving them the day one material. You know what I'm saying? In an era now where we're advanced with sound. And it's not just about cats just using 808s on every drum pattern and everything. Technology has advanced, dog. You know what I'm saying? The equalization has changed. Everything has changed. And then the performance of the artist has changed. After so many years of doing shows and shit like that, still being active, my flow is different. My flow is somewhere else. People want to hear you in your teenage stage and all of that stuff, man. That's like, go pull up some of your old photos and stuff. It doesn't reflect who you are now. You know what I'm saying? It's two different worlds.
Right,
So,
right, right. You were
cats,
like 18, 19 when that
yeah,
came when yeah. So
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
so you were a baby. I mean, even though like I always say, we've talked about this a couple of times. I mean, I was, I was 12, I was 89, so I was 13 or whatever. So again, you because of the content that was coming out, because of style, because of your everything about you guys, I thought you were like 40.
yeah.
It's crazy, but that's I mean, and I say that with all due respect. I mean, because like more often than not, we look at someone who's a. It's rare we look at someone who's a youngster and see them as older. It's usually they're, someone's immature teenager or whatever. But as a early teen, I'm like, damn, I looked at you and that's and I didn't find out. I really didn't realize that we're closer in age than I thought until we started doing the show. And I'm like, oh, okay, but like, but again, it was the content that was coming out, and it was like
Yeah.
it was stuff. It was like, yo, my ears. It was crazy because I was 12 or 13, right? And it was like when I heard X Clan, I was like, I don't know what this is, but I need to hear it. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And that's That's what
And
it was.
that's how I feel about the material. I feel now in 2025, I feel that we would have that same impact. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to dwell on the older material. That's just part of the problem. It's just the fact now with the new material, where do you place us? You know what I'm saying? What categories? I don't sing drill. I don't sing trap. I don't sing, hip hop R&B. You know what I'm saying? Where is the conscious genre? Where is the progressive genre? Where is that? And that's where I want to put my music into. I think they have stained what they call hip hop. They're not even calling hip hop anymore. They calling cats rappers. Like turn your phone on, spit a couple of bars, and you all of a sudden you're a rapper and shit.
Just that water. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like
not
that's
even on the hip hop anymore. You got to watch how cats just bury the real. So you be wasting money. You know what I'm saying? It's like how these movies are dropping, people spending $100 million, $200 million, and you don't even know where your audience is.
right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Cat just did Superman. He thought he was appealing to, the cartoon was successful. The kids like the dog. Let me put everybody in the movie and we can go get some money too. And that audience, is not there to absorb you. It's very hard to pinpoint your audience, in point. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So with consciousness, if you don't have the genre set and you just say hip hop, now you go into what? Little Weezy and you know, whatever cats and whatnot. I listen to music. I keep my ear down to where these cats are coming out every week, and I know who's in Dallas and Atlanta, who's in Detroit, who's in whatever. You know what I'm saying? You really look for the brands to pick up the best. We used to look at the labels like basketball teams. You know what I'm saying? Like this cat's on Def Jam, this cat's on Island, this cat's on Universal and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like a pay to play situation. And I'm starting to understand that, dog. So if it's something to where, brother got to go and put the mule on his back and do what it got to do, then so be it, man. But the
Yeah.
clan has stood by me strong, bro, for 30 years. I have veterans, I have people that have traveled with me since I've created the Mill Cipher, from 2000 up, you know what I'm saying? And our family is strong, you know what I'm saying? We support each other. And I look forward to showing a lot of their network as well, self-defense, martial arts, billiards, all kinds of math that we have in our network. I think our package is kind of solid. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a risk in this era to put something conscious on the platter, but you got to have balls that people want decency at this point, dog. It's become so indecent. It's embarrassing to listen to hip hop music right now.
We don't want it. We don't want the average person does not, to cut you off. The average person does not want decency. If you turn on, you look on the phone, you fuck around for 5 minutes, and we talked about this one time. Um, about the use of AI, right? How people are like what they're using it for. And it's all, I mean, it's all the Martin Luther King shit. It's all types of crazy shit out here. Like it's crazy. And I actually had to ask my friend, I was like, yo, don't send me no more shit of like Martin Luther King playing basketball or none of that shit. Like I can't, because it fucks with my brain. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it fucks and it makes me think that all that's out there is fuckery. I'm on the phone enough. So it's like I had to chill with that. But to your point, man, I got a question though. So you know, you this is not really mine, but people have asked me this. We've talked a little bit. Do you? So you're waiting. It's prudent to do that to make sense not to put your music out yet where you feel like it'll get lost. But do you see that lane coming? Do you see a comeback for conscious music? Do you, or just an avenue? It doesn't need to dominate the whole shit. I
well,
mean, but just
it's not a matter of. I get where you're going. I'm not cutting you
yeah,
off. I'm just saying it's not a matter of waiting for permission from someone. You know what I'm saying? When you put something out, if I was a professional ball player, if I'm coming back to the game, I may not want to go play in Europe. I may not want to go to the N1 court or whatever the case may be. I done been through that. So I may want to be on or affiliated with a machine
right,
that can, because our people are built on labels of things. You come out with a nice pair of pants. If it don't say Calvin Klein or something on the ass, then people are questioning. It could be a quality piece of clothing. So I
Right.
have quality material, and I think from what I'm seeing that's being signed, I think that we deserve to have an opportunity, and it's not necessarily like you look for budgets like back in the days and all that kind of thing. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about placing us where the marketing makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And to attempt something different. When Blue Eye Soul came out, who was the audience to that? And they let it slowly grow to where it's honored every year with Grammys and so on and so on. So, what would be the difference for conscious music? I can pull up a hella receipts for cats who strictly build, cats that we talk about all the time, the obvious names like the Black Thoughts and the Most Defs and so on. You know what I'm saying? The Commons, I mean, the Planet Asias, cats like that, that never, succumb to the commercial bullshit. You don't see them going out with the indecent bars and what. There are plenty of women. There are more women than Lauren Hill that spit on a level. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see them get an opportunity, and without having that genre, you make it difficult. How you gonna put, you compare someone's skill set like a Cyrock to, to the Cardi B's or Glorillaz or whatever case may be. You give Cyrock a Dr. Dre type of opportunity or something like that to produce something real dope, hip hop R&B, and not to slight the brother at all. But I'm just saying, give them the commercial opportunity that you give others without having her have to peel her clothes off and play. So we don't even have decency enough to even recruit correctly. And I'm insulted. I would be a fool to go to a label and just say, "Yo, man, it's all about the rhyme right now. Just sign my shit and keep it moving." No, I would be a spearhead of a movement at that point. You know what I'm saying? To bring the respective bars, the time that we take to write. This is not jingle writing, dog. We channeling. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I just feel that deserves a little bit more respect. And I'm not in a rush to throw anything. I don't have anything to prove. I have good quality to offer, man, but I don't have shit to prove, my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
So that's the approach. I mean, I appreciate the approach. I don't like the approach because it means I don't get to hear any music. But I appreciate. Here's the thing: I appreciate anybody that stands on their own on their values, man. Like you have values, and so and you're not budging on that shit. And as the tide comes in and all the shit bullshit changes and stuff and sweeps in the debris, you're like, nah, I'm not doing that. And
Yeah,
and so as a fan, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker dropped some music, but 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 I get
and
it
I
though.
get little teasers and whatnot. Like a lot of stuff on my page is like I was testing my camera crew today, and I just pulled a song off the thing, and and I want to give a little spit. You know what I'm saying? So I got songs like Mile Mile Boogie and Stargate, and these songs are not. These are gifts to my people. I don't have
Right,
something attached to it like buy my T-shirt. If you like the video or anything. I just was like, I love spitting, dog, and I love giving the knowledge, and I just feel like if I'm growing, I'm learning cameras and green screen and stuff like that. I got videos where I'm just playing with lightning and doing all kind of crazy stuff just to test the equipment. The reason you buy equipment is to use it. You know what I'm saying? So I would be stupid to go and hustle and bustle and get my equipment in, and then I'm waiting for the label to give me a green light. You know what I'm saying, to move forward. No, my team is always working from North Cali to Los Angeles to New York to the South, dog. I'm always working. I got a lot of shit in the can. And I just want respect for my material, dog. I see, just because I don't want to chain myself to a childish 360 deal, you know what I'm saying, that let you own me. You know what I'm saying? There are other forms of negotiation, dog. You know what I'm saying? I may not want to do a 360. I may want to do a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And let's go forge a new era. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that, I got a lot of people who rock with me, dog, on this internet, man. So I think if I was to make a move like that, I don't think it would be a disappointment. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that we don't have any receipts of successful conscious artists. You don't look at Black Thought as successful. I don't know why. This dude is from Philly now to TV shit every day. You know what I'm saying? The band is banging and collecting a check. What is the success if it's not that? He's running his own festivals, things of that level. Common is acting. Latifah's acting. Light is an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the success inside the music like that, like a Jay-Z has had or like a Rick Ross has had. They don't see the conscious connection like that. Even look at the Public Enemy. They're still touring to this day. You know what I'm saying? Chuck D's got to be touring longer than James Brown or some shit. God bless him. You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of legends. You know what I'm saying? That that should be the inspiration for a label like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even if they don't make another album ever in life, for new artists that will be signed to a brand like that, that's inspiration to say this is what these people rock when they in their high time, in their prime time. This is the kind of audience, this is the kind of mind state. And now it's time to take that energy and upgrade it. Don't do the same thing. Upgrade it. Just like with X Men, I upgraded. If I came back and was trying to holler the same situation from back in the days, that would be disappointing. There would be no growth in that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When they see the growth of the clan, I want it to be proper, dog. So,
Right.
you
Do
know,
you think? I mean, I think we kind of brought this up. I mean, so we're saying really there's no lane for conscious music. Why put it out? No avenue. But like, I firmly believe like when we said this, like if the people are savage and only want savage shit, then then like I feel like if the people turn, do you feel like if the people turned around and said we don't want this lick my coochie coochie 24/7,
yeah,
we want some other shit.
I'm not
You know?
looking for a boycott of what's happening. That would make me a hater, dog. I'm
Yeah,
looking for a balance. All
yeah,
right. There's only 24 hours in the day. If all those brands have bought out all of the radio time, where's there room to play something decent? You know what
right.
I'm saying? Skip if there's a million other radio stations or whatever. You want to be on that platform, dog, that always gets the attention. You know what I'm saying? As much people diss the Breakfast Club and things like that and say it's all commercial and turned out, people watch that shit.
And they want to be on people, and most people, if they got a call, they would go on that shit. I
Correct.
mean,
So, you want to be on the platforms. I'm saying, why don't conscious artists deserve to be on the platform? Why are not, vetting this game to find out the diamonds in the rough, so to speak? Because a lot of the artists that are signed are programmed, script written. They're just extensions of producers who can't perform. They're just giving scripts away. So I'm saying, where does it get to a point where now that veteran producers are turning their backs on artists that really hone the craft, dog? You know what I'm saying? I would love to hear some of the battle rhyme cats do proper albums. You know what I'm saying? Bust some real music, learn how to bust hits. Some dudes be busting some serious bars. If we're talking about wordplay, without all the flowers and candy of conscious and building and all of that, I'm a messenger to my heart, dog. I just don't come off on goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just my thing. And I'm not trying to set the lane for all hip hop to have to do that. But at some time, the party got to stop for 5 minutes, dog, to build on something else. You listen to one tempo all your life, dog. You listen to house music all your life, and you never put on no classical or no rock or, you know what I'm saying, some soul or something, dog. The game can't be so one dimensional as the fake news is, as putting it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because they advertise like that shit is the hottest shit on earth, and it's not, dog. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I don't know where you hang at, dog. A lot of shit that y'all praise, it don't bang around my way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm bi-coastal, dog. So, I'm listening and I'm like, you go to certain parties, there's energy for certain music. And that's why I say it's not about a boycott. I'm not here to be me versus listening to anybody else. That's not the case. It's not that deep. But you got to have an open ear for something different, dog. You know what I'm
yeah, no, yeah. And real quick, I just want to clarify. I don't think I'm not asking, I'm saying about a boycott. I'm just saying, do you think it would help though if the people just stood up and said, "Hey, we want some balance"? Like, would that be a factor in it all? If people actually vocalized what they wanted. like
Yes.
that they wanted that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that would be the ticket because it's not for me. It's for the labels to understand. Like, man, not a risk to work with me, or most, or whatever. Why is Most Def not signed on a major situation? I don't get it. To where we can snatch your shit. Why is Common? If most, put his shit on DistroKid or something, just like anybody else, dog, you would feel disappointed. You would feel like, yo, man, that nigga deserves. Most Def just got $1 million deal or some shit. You sign, Mobb Deep for $1 million with 50. You sign, casket deals. Why wouldn't somebody like that who got a strong following, you act, you do all the shit that Drake does, but you grassroots, and for some reason you back off cats like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm saying, look, I'm not even on that level. So, I'm trying to make sure, like, damn, do we have a landing for our craft to get down, niggas? Or we are under an illusion that there's a landing pad in this motherfucking dog? That's real shit.
I don't see a landing pad right now, not in 2025, man. And as much as I'd love for you to drop all your new shit, and as much as I love to hear PE, I mean, there is no spot for it right now. I mean, if I could go down the street, right, and I got my windows down, skid it, skid it, skid it, skid it, skid it, skid it everywhere. Skid it, skid it, skid it, so I mean, like, so I don't know. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Like, there is no place right now. There's no viable avenue, in my opinion, for conscious, for political, or socially conscious, socially aware music. I don't see it. Not in a big, not in a big way.
I feel like independent brands, after the COVID, man, I'm sure a lot of independent brands felt like, damn, I get to take a break for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's hard pushing records, period. Conscious, gangster, whatever case may be. So I'm sure a lot of labels were like, shit, let me close the club down. Let me close the brick and mortar side of the label. Let me work from home from the computer and just distribute what we have, maybe sell a little catalog. I'm sure a lot of labels wanted to take a break, because I would have went back to the suburban noise state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I toured a long time with them, dog. I toured like 5 years with Suburban Noise, man. Yeah. So the work was there for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not Def Jam, but for my survival and learning a new audience, putting X-Clan in the suburbs with juggalos and all kind of crazy shit, that was a challenge for me.
That's crazy. That's still bananas. Like, that is
for me, dog.
Here's the thing. That's a testament to one. It's a testament to a lot of things. A testament to your skill. Testament to, like, that. I mean, I'm gonna look at it as almost like a real, recognized, real type shit. Like, people know what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? I say the eye test, right? Like, you see somebody walking to the gym and play basketball or whatever. Within 2 minutes, you're like, damn, this motherfucker's a player. Like, you just know, right? So it's the same type of shit, man. So that's gotta be crazy.
That label accepted me. They didn't accept it all for, oh, Brother Jay, we listen to the East Blackwood D90 and we know. They respected my demo. And then the fact that I had history behind me.
Right.
Okay. And now this is 80% white label.
That's crazy.
Skaters, all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm saying, why we act like black people don't skateboard? Why we act like black people don't surfboard? Stop acting like you protecting some kind of, lily white situation, man. Good music is good music. Yeah, let me go out here and get booed if it is to be booed. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm rocking, leave me, let me get this work, and let me bring artists. I want to bring Medusa and Micah 9 and Phoenix Orion and all kind of cats. Even the cats that was working with me, I was just getting their feet wet in the market to leave them with something. To say, you rock this audience before now, you can put out a mixtape, Fat Jack. Fat Jack goes back to Dr. Dre days. You know what I'm saying? When Dr. Dre was still a DJ and whatnot in LA, dog. So his history is ridiculous. They didn't even know the kind of legendary people I was bringing. They just said, oh, new faces. Each person in my crew has a powerful story as far as and their contribution to hip hop. See what I'm saying? So cats don't even have enough time to dig in, to the things that have been done already and whatnot. So, if those dudes couldn't be paid or respected, then how would I expect a new effort? you know,
Right.
to get the full salute. You know, my thing is like, what's really the number right now? We're not doing street promotions and shit anymore. You know, what is this thing now? What's the goal? You telling me in order to go gold in 2025 on the stream side of things, I got to get 75 million hits on something versus 500,000 sales? That's crazy. You set the bar so crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's disheartening. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So unless you got a machine behind you or you're doing films where your film is getting seen on Tubi and Hulu and all of that kind of shit, when you do that, then it's easier to reach those kind of marks. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
otherwise, just on a yo, my shit is out. You know what I'm saying? Just the algorithm to go your way. Look at us sitting on YouTube because the algorithm on Instagram wasn't right. We not even getting the real numbers. I know my people are like, yo, when y'all coming on next? When you coming on next? And I don't even see them in the grid. So, you know, what do you have to do? Do we have to pour some Diddy oil on us to get the fucking algorithm to fucking get right? You know what I'm saying? That's insulting as fuck to find out that all these years, you know, we had to be on the low side of the game in order to advance. So, you know, where I admire all the Rockefellers and all those labels that was coming out at the time, for y'all now to expose like, yo, this was all like booty favors and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's insulting as fuck. Y'all gatekeep, y'all set the bar. When y'all put the music out and the videos popping and everybody singing, we feel that that's the bar. But you telling us there's other reasoning behind that. You know what I'm saying? That we got to bow down, kiss the ring, and lick the ass too. Music is about, dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a insulting. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm going to continue to make my material one way or the other. My catalog will make sense, but I'm
Right.
not rushed. I'm not rushed to come out to deaf ears, my lord. You know what I'm saying? I really
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, I get it from a artistic perspective, a integrity perspective, self value, like this value in yourself, man. Like, like I get it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my man brought up a question here, like, besides actually who you plan on, do you plan on working with anybody or on
do.
any this, or
I
can you
mean,
let that?
yeah. You know, like I said, there's names that I can call and whatnot. I really just I don't have a grid of who I want to work with like that. Like I gotta be obvious because you know the names. I would say Lauren. I would say Nas. I would say, you know, cats that I really, you know, grew up listening to as well. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to work with them. I've done songs with Damian Marley. I've done songs with Tech Nine, Charlie Tuna, Run B. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting my little wish list off. You know what I'm saying? I really want to surprise people with the names that I include on this project. I've been working on something with Grant Parks and Rahana and what, and also DJ Poetic. Um,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I've been working with them on putting some product together that that kind of shakes the commercial frame. You know, there's a title that I've gathered over my years, mainstream outlaw, and I kind of kept that mentality. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to ruffle the feathers. I'm just here to show that there's a different side of the coin that's just not being respected.
Right, right, right. I got you. Um, yo, I'm curious. Like, yo, sometimes I'll tell you something. This is funny. I've not. Sometimes, like I said, when I first met you and we first started doing the show, I had you on, and I think we did two interviews before we started doing this show. Like I looked at you as like a superhero, and like and all the greats. I mean, Big Daddy came out. I think Planet Asia said he goes. I used to think Big Daddy Kane sat up in a castle with like in the clouds and shit. Like so. So I say that only because like there are times where I wonder, like, and we become friends over the years, but there's times where I wonder, like, hmm, what does Brother Jay think about this? What does Brother Jay listen to? Like, I mean, I didn't even know you puffed a little bit. I mean, like, so it's like, oh, he's a regular person. Like, so I was like, But sometimes I'm just walking around thinking. So, what do my question is a long-winded answer, long-winded way of saying it is. I mean, I don't know if you listen to music in your phone, but if you do, or if you whatever device you listen to on most, what are you listening to in general, across the board? Whether it's hip hop, I mean, anything. Just what's in your phone?
I just give a little taste. Music is like books. You don't really give away what your library holds, but I will give a little taste. I listen to a lot of classical, new age. Um, I listen to prayer drums from different cultures. You know what I'm saying? You hear some wild shit in my house, sound like somebody's goggling or something and shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like wild shit, but then I listen to a lot of instrumentals. You know what I'm saying? I listen to a lot of rock music for lyrics because they seem to write more um, in rock music. There's a different type of rebellion in some rock music. All musics have their goofy sides,
Right.
and their lower quality and whatnot. But I listen to quality compositions. You know what I'm saying? I don't pin myself to just all rap and so on. And a lot of the new stuff today, I know by music more so than the song, the lyrics itself.
Mm.
The jingle style of writing sometimes is not the best. I think some of the best in that new world of music, the Migos, to me, um, were good hit writers. You know what I'm saying? They had such a consistent string and their bounce and flow, you know what I mean? And then I saw it's like Common and Black Thought together rocking over
Yeah.
old break. That was real ill. I think I mentioned this in one of our situations before, just to see that kind of flow of people really slow it down, listen. Elite bars, dog. You know what I'm saying? I go to
Yeah.
battle, I listen to someone like King Los. I like King Los. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of the exceptional ones in that field. I don't even feel he belongs in battle rap. I think he should have like the kind of uh, uh, situation like a Kendrick does. You know what I'm saying? I think that his bars are so heavy, it goes over a lot of people's heads and whatnot. But there's a lot of cats out here like that, or a few cats out here like that could really maintain. Slaughterhouse, shit like that. I listened to the joint that they did with Just Blaze. I mentioned that before as well. That I thought that was an exceptional project. I think that was the type of production that they needed. You know what I'm saying? When they came out, they had like that shady type of production around their shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought like someone like a Just Blaze on the whole shit would just totally blow it out. But they don't even get along anymore.
Yeah.
Saying so, those are the type of things. Just a few things that I would listen to. I like classical music a lot. I listen to a lot of Hans Zimmer type shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been making soundtracks, working with this film project, so I'm studying the nature of soundtracks, staying in theme. You know,
Mm.
keeping the mood right. I'm learning different things like that instead of studying just bar for bar and lyric for lyric and drop the beat here and shit. I'm learning how to really compose and blow music out. You know,
What is it about classical? I mean, I played the violin for 9 years and rock with classical somehow. My father. I mean, it's funny. It's like he made me like pick an instrument. I picked one that nobody else wanted to do. But like, what for you? What is it about classical that you rock with? I mean, in terms of since you said you listen to it pretty frequently.
composition, just yeah, learning how things come together. Just like when I did Funkin' Lesson. Funkin' Lesson is really inspired by classical music more so than funk music because of the different elements, knowing when um, knowing when to bring in Theme from the Black Hole or the vocals from George Clinton and still keeping the track humping like this. So I'm composing in the lab by hitting the board. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather stay in that kind of mind rather than, the funk band side of things and whatnot. I get to enjoy that when I'm on stage, but in the composition side, when you're in the lab, I'm leaning more toward what I learned from classical music. You know, it's a mood that you can't stop when classical music is going on. So it's not like one and the two and drum go, one and the violin go. Everybody's doing in a harmony in their own sections. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
And that's how you put a song together. Your vocals add to the track. They don't challenge the track. You don't yell at the music.
Ah, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good point, man. I mean, I was in the orchestra for 9 years, and it was we were pretty good actually, and it was like, yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't picked up a violin in a while, but it's interesting how you say like it all got to be working, right? Like the horns, the our violin, first violin, second violin, we're ready to go. Okay, we got that. Da 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 da. Then it's all right. We're off now. We chilling. Then the boom, 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 right? And if you think, man, now that you brought this up, you talk about like soundtracks. Isn't it crazy how like growing up, some of the craziest, even now, like some of the best soundtracks are classical music, especially even ones from cartoons, right?
yes,
Like even all the Tom and Jerry Chase shit and stuff like that. All like most soundtracks. I mean, look at Star Wars, right? I mean, that's like everybody knows Star Wars, and that takes you on the journey, a complete composition. So I just wanted to echo your point there, man. That's
and
like,
it's non-threatening. You know what I'm saying? We listen to classical music when we're watching cartoons. Think about Tom and Jerry, all the little Woody Woodpecker and all of that. The Hanna Barbera with the big orchestra. They got beats on breaks on Hanna Barbera joints. You know, Ill, Birdman, the Space Ghost and shit. You can find little clips, but these are full orchestras getting down, horns blowing, dun it, dun, hitting
yeah,
it. Though, we're learning from that. And I grew up in the crates. Some of my clan members are some of the best break finders in the game. You know what I'm saying? So continuing to learn from them and seeing some of the outstanding orchestras and bands that have played, dog, I'm inspired from a whole different level with music, and that's what I want to show off. I don't want to show off I can rhyme, nigga. I'll be able to rhyme as long as the creator gives me ability. But to take the decency up a level and then take the composition up a level, that's just making good music, dog. And cats don't want you to do that. They want you to sound like back in the days, man. And let's go ahead and get some new money from a new crowd. And I'm saying no, a new crowd should be introduced to new music. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? If you're doing vinyl, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You don't.
No,
And Young, when he does shit, he's not copying and pasting from the '90s, nigga. He's hitting you with a new level of the band. Proper EQ. You put the needle on the track. It's done. Adrian Young shit. Those dudes he was doing Marvel, Power Man, the Luke Cage shit, soundtracks. Look at that kind of work. You think he's competing with Cardi B and all these other cats and shit? And the reason I always mention Cardi name, dog, because they propelled her so quickly before we even got a chance to taste her, to taste the dudes, dog. You know what I'm saying? When we go back to our favorites, we saw the dudes of Lauryn Hill. We saw the dudes of even Latifah and Light and people like that. We saw the dudes coming up. We don't even get to see these people. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Macklemore was getting an award, dog. We ain't never heard him sit on the stoop and bust lyrics. You know what I'm saying? With anybody, dog. You know what I'm
right,
saying? They're just manufacturing this, like, accept this, into the timeline. And it's like, damn, dog, we got a cheese line of people waiting to get in, and you pushing people through the door. You know?
right. Well, I mean, like it's the different to me. The difference is back in the day, the people defined who was great. We defined who was great. We said Brother Jay. We like this brother's nice. We said Public Enemy. We said it. Now they're telling us who it is. You know what I'm saying? But so we don't. It's like we don't have that opportunity. Like you said, yeah, we didn't. We didn't. Nobody had. They told us Cardi B was great. She became Woman of the Year in 2020. Like after a stupid. So they told us we didn't. We didn't have that opportunity to be like to make that choice. And we saw, and we every artist we saw, right? Like whether you rock with Jay-Z or not, like we saw Jay-Z with Jazzo. We
Yes.
saw right like Hawaiian Sophie, nigga. Like we saw like all of these artists came we saw when they, Black Thought like was just chewing the chew stick and doing like the first joint, Pro C joint. We saw their humble beginnings, and we didn't see all of a sudden Cardi B's in our face and she's a superstar.
Exactly. And if we don't watch the reality show, then we miss the memo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You dragging us into a commercial market that's not ours, dog. That's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? And now with the death of live venues, you know what I'm saying, there's no underground chitlin circus anymore. So,
Yeah.
the markets are being bought by bigger show promoters, and then there are smaller ones underneath that are handpicking who serves the moment, dog. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't rotate new talent and elder talent at the same time. It used to
No.
be a good mix. You know what I'm saying? When we hit the road, you never knew who you was gonna be out with. I've done shows with Isley Brothers. I've done shows with, DJ Quick. I've done shows with, you never know, doing shows used to be like, here's the mission, here's the debriefing, jump out the plane and go do what you got to do, dog. It wasn't set up like this is a gangster night, this is a trap night, and this is an R&B night. You can't compete bars with someone serenading a woman. You feel what I'm saying? So, what I'm saying? You could spit all day, till you blue in the face. But when they come out with the "Oh Baby" and this and that, the Neo song, the Chris Brown and all that other shit, dog, you can't fuck with that. Bobby Brown cracked that fold when he hit that balance of hip hop and R&B like the way he did, dog. They never looked back. You know what I'm saying? And cats in today's market to say, well, look how much platinum plaques are being sold with the tempo of R&B and hip hop together. That's just lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact
Yeah.
that you don't want to build both markets purely on their own and just handle collabs as they happen naturally. You go ahead and mesh the two. So now they're totally fucked. So if you don't have any kind of rhythm on your songs, and you're just, just totally just spitting shit over breaks and whatnot, you'll never get a break, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I had
Yeah.
to help myself to say, okay, I got to bring in my background singers now. I got to bring in my people in. I got to have my own Parliament Funkadelic now. You know what I'm saying? So now working with Medusa and Georgia Ann Muldrow, artists like that, now I can expand the vocals and start getting into what like Dre was doing. Their music sounds immaculate, dog. They got some of the best singers and artists and musician players in the world. I learned a lot of shit in the West, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting with the producers that I rock with, man. I learned a lot of shit. I've been out there over 20 years, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
So that makes sense. I mean, where it's come from, it looks like you're clearly looking at it more than just, you know, we've talked about this a lot, like more than just crates and bars and just, I mean, like it's about music and composition because like you said, we know a lot of dudes that can play basketball, but they're not a lot of winners, right? We know a
correct.
lot of dudes, right? So who's gonna win? Lead you to that chip. You know, a lot of dudes that can spit. I mean, there's a lot of dudes that can spit all day long,
But
but
the chip is different. The mission for the chip is different. There's something with getting that trophy because that trophy says I'm on the top of the list to get work. Okay. So when you're doing the Black Panther soundtrack and I just won the Grammy, I'm first dibs before you go anywhere else. So you can't tell people to don't reach for that trophy. They don't respect or whatever. It's the key to work. Somebody got to do it. If it's 5 artists, one out of the 5 or 2 of them got to reach for that trophy, dog. Or what are we doing here? You'll never be recognized. This is proven. If you get Woman of the Year, dog, and your radio rotation is crazy off the chain, you're going to get the first work. Period. Okay? Because they're saying, damn, she's on the cover of such and such and whoopty wham, and we got to put her in the movie. Her fucking social numbers are up, all the other shit. So,
right,
you got to encourage cats to play the game correctly, and you have to show them the price tag on that. It's not a free thing.
right.
Unless you get a machine or investment behind you, and you got to be worth it. You think just getting in front of the mic, rhyming like you at a block party is going to get you some change, dog? No, it's not.
And I keep
It's
telling
not,
you,
if you're not
yeah,
composing and producing, man, it's not,
no, there's more to it than
and,
that. I
that,
can't
and that's
believe,
proper.
right. I
That's
can't believe
proper.
that hour's
You know,
almost
it's
up.
the way you do.
Um, right. X Clan documentary. Well, it's what's to the it's of the album though, right? So yeah, I mean, what people have been asking me, oh, ask them about the documentary, ask them about the documentary. So I'm asking you.
All right, so the documentary, that's what I'm out here doing. It's a lot of research, and you know what we've done is we've taken the East Blackwards to break down that album. You know what I'm saying? Because to tell the Klan story is outrageous. We'll never get the funding that would be needed to tell a story like that, dog. You know, we're spanning into me taking it now and evolving the group that created a whole different story. You imagine those 5 years of touring in a suburban realm, going to California, what kind of story that is. And then you talk about the 90s when, you know, we were on the streets, you know, doing what everybody's doing now, fighting in the streets for freedom and people looking at us crazy. And now every day, you know, we see people doing it wrong. So, you know, so there's a lot of answers in what we're doing in the documentary. And I don't have any stress in that building by the way that we are producing that. That's in house. It's not like we're hiring some kind of big name that's telling us to do it this way or whatever case may be. So we have total freedom, but we really want to pick our battles on what we build on and make sure that we're giving principles and not just I went here and I used this and I met this guy. Some things are relevant. you know,
Yeah,
of the real fiber of what made X Clan, what brought the brothers together. You know, what complemented the Black Watch movement and what was the intention of that. You know, even people who were in that organization will learn from the angle of where I'm telling that story. So
mm,
I'm hoping that will be done by at least by summertime of next year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe spring, summertime, because I've been here for a minute putting things together. It's not a lot to do left. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, we lost a lot of people that I wanted in this, and that really is what held us. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
A lot that had adult sense that time is what I wanted to really season that piece, and we lost a lot of people to older age, and that kind of twisted where the angle of where we wanted to tell that story.
gotcha,
So that was the hold up on that. You know what I'm
gotcha,
saying?
gotcha.
So,
Yeah, no, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait to. We should definitely do a show around that when it's time. We got a few more minutes before we get on out of here. Can't believe the hours going by so quickly, but I want to ask you. I mean, briefly, um, we talked about it mentioned backstage before we came on. So, no matter what your political affiliation is or whatever, this, that, and the third, in my opinion, I think the world is sick, and I think the world is crazy. It's upside down. Right is wrong. Wrong is right. It's topsy turvy. And just no matter really, I mean, for everything is just, in my opinion, pretty just wild. So I just wanted to hear from you before we left, and you kind of agreed. I mean, what is anything to recommend in 2025 to just navigate the wild shit going on now? The lack of values, just this. However, again, it's not about what people believe. It's just like I think it's wild for everybody, in my opinion. I mean, like, so just curious what your thoughts are on that before we get out of here.
I say this, dog, is um, I think we have to stop complaining about this twilight zone that we're in
Mm-hmm.
as we start to become the savage. I think if people looked at it, this is a matter of perception. I think if you look at it as if we are experiments, okay, testing people's emotions, you know, you're twisting history, you know what I'm saying? You're putting things in our face like we shouldn't react. You know, all these things are tests. I think we have to get back to self-control and understanding the real nature of peace more so than just saying the word, Just cleansing your house till there is a harmony of peace. Cleansing your friend circle till there's an element of peace, to where you don't have people around you that are complaining and constantly bickering about the nastiness of the world. What are you going to do to change it? You know what I'm saying? And what is the effort going to be once you figure out that plan? I think hanging around those kind of people, this is how I restructured X Clan. It was like, let's cut the fat off the meat and really get with some generals that have something to say, both men and women. You know what I'm saying? That have something to say from this platform that we have offered to people, to say this is freedom music, this is freedom films, this is a freedom effort, to break the shackles. You know what I'm saying? We were conquered, you know what I'm saying? And we act like we weren't. We were conquered and they tried to erase us. So you have to now say, I'm rewriting the pattern. This is a twilight zone and the canvas is blank. I'm rewriting everything that you think about black people or white people or red people or whatever. Wherever you come from, rewrite the history of your folks. If your past people were diabolical, then be the better of them. Break the cycle. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say as far as handling that. I would also tell people, watch the Mandela Effect. Watch that again. You know what I'm saying? You can go on this very YouTube and just pick up that film and just watch it and imagine if you were in that kind of scenario, what would you do? How would you handle it? How would you, turn the tides of the Twilight Zone to become a different reality for yourself?
No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, gotta change. I mean, we gotta do something. And like you said, complaining doesn't help. And for me, one thing I shared before we got here is just really trying to monitor my information intake and what type of information I'm taking in, what's coming in, and fuckery and not, and whatever, and just trying to really keep up with the news and know what's going on, but I don't dive all into all that wild shit. You know what I mean? And then it's so that's partially me. You know,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
information is
definitely.
fuck with, bro.
What's that?
I said information is being twisted, bro. Everybody want to be Walter Cronkite, man. And you know what I'm saying? You really got to pick your battles with where your knowledge comes from. Clean your plate. Get to what principles mean something to your life. What principles add on to your cipher, and then you reach out for programs and influence and and peers and stuff like that match with your peace. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a person without peace and start reaching into this chaos thinking you're gonna advance, dog. All you're gonna do is make yourself into a zombie. These people are bugging out, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it's information overload. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't center yourself, you're just gonna be in the pool of the zombies. You're looking like World War Z, the zombie movie. You're looking like that horde of zombies just senseless rolling and shit amongst the masses and shit with no goals, no mission, no nothing, just savage. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull yourself out of that, my dog. That's the most I can say to people. You know what I'm saying? I hope to get this music to y'all, and I hope to get these films to y'all, man, because I just feel it would break some of the spell. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the end all answer to anything, but I am a spearhead of something different, my dog. So I hope that people are there for me and for my family and helping me produce these things, man. So these machines that they need to sign more talent that's speaking decency and consciousness for real, not that fake consciousness that y'all have labeled. I don't know, woke mean and all these other things y'all twist so much. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
And but the real one, you know what I'm saying? The
I
real
hate
ones
that.
know where it's at.
I
Yeah, I
hate
hate
that
that
term.
shit too. You're labeled
I
to
hate.
where you're saying progressive is like, what side are you on? You know what I'm saying? You can't even say progressive hip hop. I didn't even know
No,
what
you can't.
the fucking music, dog. So it's a serious battle, and I hope
Yeah.
people hearing this conversation and knowing that there's a inner battle. It's not like somebody sitting behind a desk saying "fuck all consciousness" and shit. No, conscious dudes have never put their dollars up to roll the dice on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody really just says, yo, man, I got the marketing money. I got the radio money. Put me on. Make a good song. Stop trying to prove I'm better than this person or that person. Make a good song, dog. You know, get on the charts and shit and show people that this artist can write hits, can write a person's favorite song. That's all you need to show. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's been done before, dog.
Facts, facts. And on that note, it looks like a nice way to put a bow on this. Before we get out of here, I got a question for you just for the next was so everybody, we normally do this the first Wednesday of each month, but we got off schedule because was getting on a new platform and stuff. So we've been off track a little bit. Are you down with so we can get back on track because I can't rock in 2 weeks. Are you down with taking a little not a break, but just getting back on track for December, just like December 3rd, I think. This and then we'll be back on our Mondays.
It's on you, my lord. You know,
Yeah,
did this day. You've been keeping us organized, so
yeah.
I'm working this. I just take the time out to make sure I honor what it is. I like being in touch with the people, and I wasn't doing enough live material. So whenever you open the portal, man, as long as I have a plate, man, I'm here.
All right, cool. So then we'll get back on track for December for it's December 3rd or first something. First Wednesday of December and or Monday, I can't remember. Whatever. We'll get so I got so many shows. But first Monday or Wednesday of December, we'll be back. We do this every month. And this is episode 50, y'all. So everybody that just joined in, it's all the prior episodes on the Carrying the Culture YouTube, all 49 episodes. Lots of solid content. We can firmly say that's useful for the people, and definitely. And brother Jay, somebody asked about a couple things. Doc X documentary he's working on. He said that came in a little late. Hopefully by the middle of the summer, and yeah, music is kind of is ready to go, but we're looking for a lane to make sure everybody hears it and that we don't forget about the album in 3 days, right? Like so.
Exactly.
So that's what. Yeah, we're not. So I get it, man. So, but you made a good one last point. You know, the people will be here, man. You know what I'm saying? The people will be here. We are here, and we want it. I want it, and I'll hem you up all the time. Where that? Where that? So, but everybody, if you rock with us, if you rock with the content, if you rock with Brother Jay, you know, all 49 shows are on our YouTube channel. So we can binge watching some AI fuckery or we can binge watching some real shit. So it's our choice. You know what I mean? But so in the end, that's what it is. So I thank you, family. Always appreciate this. I just wanted to get current and just, you know, just chop it up and see where we at with things and take some questions and stuff. So a lot of our shows are somewhat intense, not intense in a bad way, but just heavy duty, you know, real shit. So, and this was too, but I wanted to just find out what you was up to. So,
yeah, no doubt, my lord. I appreciate you, man.
yeah, absolutely, man. So, salute to everybody here. We appreciate y'all. We only do these shows on YouTube now, as we see. There's no real stupid interruptions, no goofy shit.
Much better.
So, yeah, platform's much better, and so appreciate y'all. We'll get a clip of this up rather soon after Wifey does the edit. And you and I will talk soon, man. Be safe, and we'll be back in December.
Blessings, family. Get a family my regards, man.
Same here, brother Jay. I'll talk to you soon. Salute everybody. Peace. This has been episode 50 of Constant Elevation. Salute.
Peace, God.
All right, fam. Peace.